had he changed just a little bit, would he have been that powerful as what I'm saying?
I think if Suge Knight would have made Snoop Dogg the president of Death Row Records, he'd still been out of jail, and Death Row Records would have been the biggest label in the world. Because I was the politician. I was the bridge to the gap. I was the one who had the relationship with Puffy and Biggie and every other artist that he didn't have a relationship with to make it beautiful and make it okay. But it was certain, rules and regulations that went with the code of this G shit that they wasn't willing to bend or to break for nobody. And when you're doing business, you got to leave the G shit outside. It's got to be business.
The first time the first and only time I interviewed Suge Knight, there was a very dark vibe around him. And I remember being in the room with Suge Knight, and I felt the presence of darkness, almost like it just was very, very dark and very dark. Like,
well, you got to understand, for a man like that, that's a lot of pressure he had to deal with. I give him a lot of credit because I look at all the great things he did. And what people don't understand is when you become a boss overnight and you're responsible for basically the whole industry, because the whole industry is watching you, sometimes you could tend to lose focus and, drift away. And I don't think he was putting the best people around him. Like you say, Dr. Dre keep people around him and he pressed for certain things out of them. I don't think Suge was aiming for that. He was giving hope and giving chances to people who would never have a job, who would never go on the road, who would never, be able to get that opportunity. And that sometimes becomes a risk because you're putting people into a business that don't have a business mind, that have a street mind, and that sometimes overweighs the business values. And they rubbed off on Suge instead of him rubbing off on them. And that's just the beauty and the curse of it all. You know what I'm saying? You got to rub off. And what I learned from Suge is that business and to be my own owner and my own guy and to be my own voice. I learned the great things from him. The bad things I don't, tend to talk about or to take with me because I learned a lot of bad things from a lot of people, including my parents, including my grandparents, my cousins, uncles. But they not to blame. It's me if I do something bad.
And maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was just a dark time, a lot of dark energy. One record that we always talk about from Snoop in New York is the record New York, New York. And I always wanted to know, it felt like a diss record. And I didn't understand why you did it. It was very odd to me. What was the
let me get the dynamics to that New York, New York record. When the New York, New York record was first done, it was produced by DJ Pooh. It was actually a Biggie Smalls St. Ives commercial. And you can run the Google on that. That was a Biggie Smalls beat for a St. Ives commercial. That DJ Pooh flew him out to do a commercial because St. Ives was the people that was paying rappers back then. And we fucked with Biggie and we liked Biggie. So Pooh, my right-hand man, gave Biggie the beat. So when I heard the beat and heard Biggie on it, I told Pooh, let me get that beat. He was like, all right, cool. Biggie ain't using it for his album. It was just for the commercial. I take the beat, put the hook on it, Corrupt put lyrics on it. We fly to New York probably about a month later. I go see Russell Simmons. We're in the back of a limousine. And I play the record for Russell. And Russell like, this motherfucking record is a hit. I'm like, yeah, nigga, we love Grandmaster Flash. And that's where I got it from. The hook is from Grandmaster Flash. So I'm like, I love them niggas, man. You know what I'm saying? Back to me showing love again. So I'm like, all right, cool. We're going to shoot the video in New York, nigga. We're going to bring lowriders and everything out here. Russell was like, that'd be a dope idea. I help you get some of the rappers. Cool. So we finally scheduled it to come back out there to shoot the video. Get to New York. Go to Hot 97. Funkmaster Flex is on the air. We try to get up to go see him. We get froze. They don't let us up. We ain't tripping. We like, maybe he, interviewing him. Maybe we should schedule it or whatnot, but we don't get up. So we like, cool. We go back to the video shoot. We shooting in Red Hook, Brooklyn. Now, we turn on Hot 97. We hear Biggie Smalls on the radio. Red Hook, Brooklyn. Stand up. Tupac and the Dog Pound shooting a video in Brooklyn right now.
Did you ever feel nervous that because he said that you were in danger?
No, because I felt like I had a great relationship with Biggie. And I felt like we were showing love by doing the video. First scene we shot when we first got there was at Times Square. We had the lowriders at Times Square. A couple of New York rappers showed up. We was out there showing love, shooting a video in New York, letting niggas know. We didn't have social media back then, so we couldn't go on Instagram and be like, hey, my niggas, show up. The only word of mouth was through the radio station. So if we can't get to the radio, we can't get to the people. But remember what I just told you. Biggie gets on the radio after we can't get on the radio and says what he says. Now we go to Red Hook and we shoot. One of my homies from Naughty by Nature tell me, hey, dog, I wouldn't shoot the video over there. I would, bounce. I'm like, nah, we good. So now my daddy's a Vietnam vet. My daddy come back in the trailer. Man, a motherfucker, he's talking crazy, but we like, man, this nigga, my daddy tripping. But my daddy really on some other shit because he a Vietnam vet, he peeping game. We ain't tripping. My daddy walk out the trailer, go to the store. 5 minutes later, pew, pew, pew.
Do you feel Biggie really had you shot at? And what were your feelings on him possibly having you shot?
I didn't take it as if he called the shot. I took it as if we was out of bounds and some people in that neighborhood just didn't feel us and was trying to, give us a warning to get up out of there. So at that time, remember what my mind was. I'm on peace, but I'm still gangster. So after we get out of that and get back to LA, the word is Cuz got us popped at, but we never go public. We never, and that's why y'all never heard about it, because we never went, la, 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 la. We kept it under our hat, like, because it was my call. And Dog said, I'm going to take that on the chin. So I take that on the chin, but other people on the label don't like that. They like, fuck that. We ain't taking that on the chin.
Here's my question. Did you ever speak to Biggie after the day of that shooting?
I spoke to him twice. The first time was after Tupac died, and I was in Atlanta, and I seen Lil C's in the lobby at the Omni Hotel. And Lil C's is my nigga. I met Lil C's at the show. We over a bowl of cereal. He became my nigga after that. We was always locked and loaded. So I see C's in the lobby. I say, C's, what Biggie? I want to holler at him. He upstairs. He want to holler at you too. I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna come upstairs and holler at him. Let me grab my weed, get my weed. C's take me upstairs. Biggie is upstairs in a walker, like what the old people walk around in. He got the little walker sitting at the edge of the bed. And when I walk in the room, we start talking. And then he looked me in my eyes and he say something that, you know what I'm saying? Like he's sad that Tupac is dead, but I can look in his eyes and I can see that he hurt. He didn't even have to say it. I could see that he hurt behind Tupac being dead. This is not a man that's happy or glamorized. This is his friend that's dead, that they had a misunderstanding, and he could never get no justice for his emotions, but he's showing me his emotions. And he explained to me how much he loved Tupac, and I ain't tripping, and not once do we bring up the Brooklyn incident. Because what's understood don't need to be talked about. But after we spoke, but let me continue. After we break bread and smoke weed, I leave him with some weed, and I tell him I love him. And I'm like, I'm gonna give you my number, nigga. Holler at me whenever, whoop whoop. And when you on the West Coast, holler at me, and I'm gonna holler at you when I'm in New York. I go to New York probably about 3 months later. Biggie hit me up. Hey, come by the studio. We got 5 studios popping. Daddy's house or some shit. I'm like, all right, fuck it, I'm coming. I go to the studio. He got like 4 rooms. He got Easy Mo B in the room, Premier in the room. And he got Stevie J in the room and some other motherfuckers in the room. And then he in one room with like about 30 motherfuckers in there, all army fatigues and beanies, and they smoking some bullshit ass weed. And I come in with that thing that killed John Wayne. You understand me? So I pulled my weed out and changed the temperature in the room. So Biggie at the board, he like, hey, check it out, hold on. Hey, Snoop, I want you to hear this shit. And the motherfucker push play. And he play that song where it say, dreaming of Learjets, mansions, and coupes, and trying to sell records like Snoop. Oops. And the whole room was like, oh. It was like him letting me know in front of all his homeboys, nigga, I fuck with you, I love you, and I ain't gonna never have a problem with you. So from that day forward, me and his situation never was a situation to begin with, but we had that understanding that that's all in the game of war. You feel what I'm saying? You win some, you lose some.
Tupac made the same claim that Biggie had him shot, which I personally don't believe. Did the two of you ever talk about both shootings? And if so, what was said and how did Tupac feel about it?
Fatman, Snoop.